Hello, humans of the internet, and welcome to episode 5 of The City in Yellow. As per usual, I'm joined with this wonderful team of investigators. Let's have a little round around the table, starting with Will.
Hey everybody, I'm Will and I play Herbert Cunningham, also known as Percy.
All right, followed by Chelsea.
Hi, I'm Chelsea, and I play Janet, the definitely not shady nurse.
All right, Kit.
Hi, I'm Kit and I'm playing Bridget Braun, and we're here from the city to investigate all your bullshit.
Matt.
My name is Matthew, and I'm playing Matthias von Lamberg, someone who's suddenly realizing he may be in over his head a bit more than he thought.
And finally, Nicole.
Hi, I'm Nicole. I am playing Odile Frey. She goes by Odie. She's in it, but I don't know. Man.
All right.
Somebody have smelling salts?
So, to catch you up on whatever transpired last week, following their investigation on the various incidents that are plaguing the Great Breakthrough, our team befriended a local homeless drunk person, Chris, learning quite a lot of information in the process. They were later on led into a trap in which they sent Chris as a lure, but he ended up being knocked down and thrown down a hole by two suspects. A fight ensued, in which the man with the birthmark died after talking about a king, whoever that might be. The team abducted his accomplice, Franz. They brought him to an abandoned house, one of the architects, and interrogated him. After getting all they needed, a choice was made, and Janet killed their captive, much to the surprise and, despair of Odile. They then decided to examine the place where the explosives have been found, and through conversation with the nosy concierge were led to an apartment not too far, bearing a symbol that seems heavily related to the incidents. Now, you just finished strolling towards the apartment in question. You are in front of that plaque bearing the name Ambrosius Dittelmeyer and the very odd symbol. Around you, you hear, various people in the streets, lots of people walking. You also see lots of posters and flyers being hung up the walls all across the street. And you are in front of the apartment. What would you like to do?
Chelsea, would Janet have told us that name? Would that be familiar to us?
I believe. Did I have time to tell you guys that?
I don't
If
think
I had
so.
time, I totally no. Okay. Well, in that case, let's have a discussion about it now.
Yeah.
So the symbol would mean something to us, but the name at this point, I don't think
Yeah.
would.
No.
I definitely had exclamation marks in my notes about name. Well, in that case, I have a lead on who this individual Ambrosius Diedemeyer is.
Yeah?
Well, visiting our dear friend in the asylum, I was told of another individual who was seeing things similar, so I went and had a little chat with them. A painter who was admitted because they were having dreams. Some of their paintings had this similar symbol. He's been visited monthly or so by this Ambrosius Diedemeyer. Basically the only person who does come and visit.
Did the hospital know much about this Diedelmeyer?
Nothing much, just that he does bring
Inspiration.
inspiration, yes, in the form of liquor.
You didn't happen to get any of this liquor, did you?
I did not. I feel like it's not something that would last particularly long. This individual has a habit of imbibing.
Yes, I'm thinking that's why he brings it. If there's something in there, maybe. Maybe he's dosing this poor chap. That
Perhaps, but apparently this is a family condition.
oh.
Well, should we pay Ambrosius a visit, or should we talk to Charles? I mean, like,
Well, do you think you know enough to of this person he sees to maybe have a discussion with Mr. Dietmeier and the guys that you just want to know more about his friend?
That could be
Or-
something we could do, yes.
As you're
Because he
having
has a
this
similar
conversation,
condition to our friend.
as you're having that conversation, the front door of the building just opens, and you see a man carrying a bunch of trash. And just like, oh my God! I'm sorry. I hope I didn't hurt you with the door here. Sorry. Just making my way, and he's just going to the side and throwing some trash away. Is this young gentleman, maybe like early 30s, with a very nice little mustache? What do you do?
Excuse me. Are you? Do you live here?
Yes, and I work here. I am the sort of caretaker for this building. Sorry, my name is Antonin. Nice to meet you.
It's nice to meet you. Odie. Is there a business here, or is it just an apartment?
No. It's just a series of apartments. It's a residential building. We don't have a lot of apartments here, but we have a few. Are you looking to rent, or because all the apartments are currently taken for now?
Oh.
No. Do you know Ambrosius Dietmeier, or does he just own this building?
Oh no, he doesn't own the building. He only owns an apartment in the building.
Oh, okay.
I haven't actually met the guy because he's been evicted when when Strasbourg came back to France. He is German, you see, and so he's been forcefully evicted from the location. But I haven't really seen him. The apartment is still there and pristine. It has been untouched, because I'm waiting for the notary to tell me what to do with it. Because technically, even though he doesn't live in Strasbourg anymore, he still owns it.
Right. Gotcha.
Do you know
But
what this
I've been
thing
here for a
is? She'll
few
point
years
to the
and years.
symbol.
That symbol?
Yeah, what is that?
I always thought it was some sort of like monogram or something, or maybe like a family crest or something of the sorts. I know that his apartment also has that in a few places, so I'm definitely guessing it's like a family thing.
Oh, yes. Oh, that makes sense. We are looking about the history of Strasbourg, and we've come across this symbol, and we did not understand where it came from. So we were looking around, and we happened to see it here. So we were very curious as to if you knew, any information of the origin. We were hoping to talk to this Mr. Dietmeier. So I'm hoping he'd give us some context. It's in some historical documents, and we didn't get the context at all. So we were hoping to find out.
Well, I'm afraid that he's, not here, as I said. Since the war is over, he hasn't been here, as far as I know. Plus, I'm not sure he would be very knowledgeable in, history. He seems more of a architect kind of guy.
Oh.
Judging by his apartment.
Might we be able to? Yeah, to take a look at his apartment. Just to see, since it's empty and.
You did mention there were some more of these symbols in there. We'd really like to take look at them to see if we could maybe understand something more about where they came from.
Oh, I understand the curiosity, but unfortunately I cannot really, let anyone in an apartment that still belongs to somebody, you know, it's very, very unethical.
Bridget's gonna
well,
look at Percy. Hang on.
You could come.
Bridget's gonna look at Percy when he says he can't do it.
What was that, kid?
Bridget's gonna look at Percy because she knows he has ways of getting people to do stuff that she does not have the means to do.
You mean money?
Yeah, she don't have none.
You could try flash your badge.
Yeah, but she wants him to spend money. It was with her.
It would be most wonderful if you could perhaps turn a blind eye on this occasion. We've got some very important research to do, and we really all roads have led to this apartment. It would seem. You know, I could make it worth your while.
Mm-hmm. Give me a wealth check with disadvantage. So roll twice, keep the worst.
What dice are you using? Those are...
Okay, so your wealth becomes a d8 now. You end up needing to provide quite a lot of money in order to get him to budge. He seems very, very adamant on making sure that everything is legal and clear, but after, you know, there is a certain level in francs that you just cannot turn a blind eye and just be conscientious. So he agrees to let you in, but please, I am begging you, do not stay too long. I really don't want the neighbors to notice that you are getting in and that word spreads around that I'm doing a bad job. You understand?
Oh, totally. We'll be in and out like a thief in the night.
That is not a choice of word that really, really helped me feel at ease, if you know what I mean. Okay.
It's all good. We'll be quick.
He leads you up the stairs, up to the first floor, where you can see there is the doorbell and another instance of the plaque just next to it. Let me actually show you what you see. So you're currently on the landing, and he's opening the door, making sure that you get in as fast as humanly possible. And you see the following. Just a second. There you go. There is a series of various doors. He closes the door promptly behind you just as to not being noticed. But you're welcome to roam around for the moment.
All right.
Which
Living room.
direction first?
Up to you.
Let's just start opening doors and going in.
I say we head east to that, assuming this is oriented.
Door on the east?
I think it is. Yes.
Okay. That door is actually leading to the same room as the one on the south. It is leading to what seems to be an office. And in the middle of it, you can see a gigantic model of Strasbourg with various buildings. The cathedral is like constructed in sort of thin wooden material. You can see a desk. It is very elegant. You can see also in every corner of the tapestry or the wallpaper, basically, the symbol is present everywhere.
Like it was part of the pattern, or like it was added after?
It seems to have been added inside the wooden parts, the wooden structure of the apartment. Yes, Herbert?
Does it look like anyone's been here? Does the timeline sort of appearance of the place match with what Antonin said about him being evicted?
could you give me a flashlight roll for that investigation? You notice that as much as it seems to be indeed currently not used, there are some foot like traces here and there. It doesn't seem to be extremely dusty. Somebody has been there somewhat recently.
Well,
And does the map of Strasbourg,
Mhm.
does that look, how does that appear? Like, is it like it is currently? Is it like it was? Or is it sort of some other vision of what Strasbourg might look like?
Give me a wisdom save, please. That's a success.
Like this.
It does look like Strasbourg currently, where actually Strasbourg a little bit into the future. You can see the traces of the Great Breakthrough onto the model. You do notice also that it does not seem to exactly match the map of the breakthrough that you have been given. There are like some slight modifications on it. The most obvious one is this sort of additional branch to the project that has not been mentioned so far. You also still have in your journal, I believe, the original map for the breakthrough, if I'm not mistaken, if you need to compare it. It is called Project Map. So that document is what you have been given by Charles. You can see that there is another branch that seems to be going more north around the Place Kléber and continuing up.
Not letting me open the project map.
This is what you can make out.
Kléber seems to be where it stops in the project map, and this new one seems to go beyond it. Yes?
Yeah, it seems to be doing pretty much that, yes.
Like this is an expansion of the current project for some reason.
Yeah, it seems to be possibly like a future project to add and like expand the Great Breakthrough. The rest
But
of
this
it seems
model
to
is,
fit.
but this scale model thing is years old. Yes, like
It is.
from before the war.
From the look of it, it seems to be extremely old. Not extremely as in like the 1500s or something, but, definitely
pre-war.
Just like
Yeah,
the landlady, extremely old.
yeah, pretty much.
Like that old, really? Like decade?
At the very least 50 years old. No, I'm kidding. But definitely pre-war. Yeah, from the looks of it, pre-war.
This is odd.
The desk
I guess,
that you see in that room, by the way, has some drawers that are currently locked, and a door seems to be leading now to the west. I always struggle with the west and east, guys.
Okay.
What would it need to get into these drawers? Out of curiosity.
That would, well, if you want to brute force it, that's going to be a strength save. If you have a tool that could help you with it, that might be, a dex save depending on how you want to use it. Yes, Percy?
I'd like to use Crafty to open the desks drawers.
Oh, nice. So for the viewers, could you describe what Crafty does?
Once per game session, the character can improvise a solution with what they have within reach: items, tools, machines.
Okay. Easy enough. You can find a letter opener somewhere that just, fits just the right amount into the nooks and crannies of that drawer. And with a loud thunk, you manage to open it. It will not be very, sneaky in the sense of that now the drawer is broken, very obviously broken. But on the other hand, it is open.
Here I was thinking he was going to pick the lock, but anyway.
We do what we must.
It was too much of a intricate lock to really manage to get it, in a very
That's fair.
subtle way. Nevertheless, within the apartment, you can within the desk, you can see a series of letters. Here they are. For those who cannot read cursive that well, and I do not blame you, there is a transcript down.
Oh.
February 3rd, 1918. Dear Ambrosius, I will never be able to thank you enough for this royal present in the form of those 3 liquor bottles I just received. These are purely divine. Thanks to you, I can really paint the horror of the war that reaches my ear. I rejoice to see you this evening at dinner. Your pale one, Leo. March 5th, 1918. My dearest Ambrosius, have you received the latest painting? I went above and beyond, and you know how crucial it is. You lickers are in great part to thank for it. I rejoice about tomorrow's dinner with you. Your pale one, Leo.
Janet,
Yes,
dear girl, remind me,
Yes,
Leo, is that the name of the chap in the hospital?
it is indeed.
I think you should all take a read of these.
I got a glimpse at Leo's file. Do I know when he self-admitted?
Yes, in 1916.
Oh. Okay.
You also find another letter that seems way more... I would call that official, if it makes sense. It is... Well, on that document it's going to be written in English, but the actual letter is written in German. Here is said letter. Dear Ambrosius, it is with an unfathomable sadness that, despite Germany's military genius, we have to seriously consider the imminent possibility of a military defeat. The project that you recently shared with me, mining the whole city of Strasbourg...
Whoa. Sorry to interrupt.
Yes.
I imagine if it's in German, we passed it to Matthias to read.
Yeah.
I would assume so.
And he's reading
I'd be
it
reading
out,
it out loud.
out
I would
loud.
read it out loud.
Percy's going to try very hard to, military defeat. Of course. And he just dissolves into laughter at that point. Carry on.
The project that you recently shared with me, mining the whole city of Strasbourg, could grant us a victory in defeat, and by the current document I approve it. I shall place under your supervision some discreet men, sorry for the typo, who will handle the explosive delivery in the cave designated on 4 Clever Square. It will then be up to you to spread them in strategical places. I would rather see the city disappear than fall back into their hands. Signed, Rudolf Schwandler, Governor of Alsace-Lorraine. And it is dated October 3rd, 1918.
Possibility of a military defeat. Possibility. Oh, you Germans, you chaps.
It did say eminent possibility.
Humor.
I'm sure that will bite. I was sure that will bite none of the government's future prospects for peace later at all.
I won't be around to see it.
Yes, you can see basically all those documents.
So we
One
can
thing-
make that he was. So can we intuit from this letter that this is not like this was his means of destroying the city, this project, or is this a separate thing?
It could be. I mean, he is talking about explosives disseminated somewhere in Strasbourg. So it could be, according to the tone of the letter, it does seem to be very destructive for Strasbourg.
And it'd be
You-
towards the center of the city.
one thing that you can notice is that in different papers and different letters that you have received, the official title of Ambrosius Dittermeyer was the urbanization manager for Strasbourg. Judging by the title, you guesstimate that he had the same position as Charles before he was extradited.
I wonder if Mr. Diedelmeyer has some kind of axe to grind with the city after being removed.
It sounds to me
Yeah.
like there was plans afoot well before that.
Yeah, but they don't serve a purpose now, except, it's not like that's going to change the fate of anything but Strasbourg now.
If Janet looks at the envelopes that Leo's letters came in, does the postmark appear to come from the asylum?
It does.
Or a return?
Yes.
Okay.
It seems to come
making
from
sure.
Brumat, which is the city that the asylum is in, so it does feel coherent, yes.
Okay. Just making sure we don't have a middleman.
Interesting. Okay, so we go into a different room now?
Okay.
But did we check all the drawers, or is that everything that in this desk?
This is everything you could find in this desk, yes.
All then, I guess we should move on to see if there's something else.
Alright, where to? You have two doors on the north of the hallway or the room that is on the left.
Just go next
Go
one
left.
over, shall we?
Yeah.
Go left.
For expedience, perhaps we take a room each.
You can do that, absolutely.
Mhm.
Who's going where?
I'll go left.
You go left. Alright. You find a lounge. A very nice lounge area with what seems to be very comfortable chairs. There is these enormous bookshelves, as in floor to ceiling books, beautiful books, ancient books, everything. It's very, well, it feels wealthy, to say the least. What you can see also, all across the room, there are a lot of paintings. Many, many paintings. You can see... can I get somebody to investigate and have a flashlight roll?
I will do that.
Alright.
Okay. You good. So one of the paintings seems a bit different from the other ones, as it seems a little bit more modern, more realistic, if it makes sense. It really catches Janet's eye more than anyone, because it seems to represent the asylum. And you can see many, many more footsteps on the ground, kind of dirty, muddy footsteps close to that painting.
Do I recognize the style these paintings are done in?
You get a little bit closer to that painting and look at all of them. They all feel very reminiscent of Leo's kind of style.
Okay.
One thing, however, when you look at the ones from the asylum, for just the shortest amount of time, you almost feel like you can see people moving behind the windows of that representation of the building. I would like you to roll me a sanity check, please.
Is that all of us?
Of course.
Not just Janet. Okay, you're good.
I'm good.
The other paintings have different kinds of style. They are all... You can really recognize the sort of, style and haste of it. The most massive one that you can see within the apartment is the following. It is a bit, dark, to say the least, but it is there. You can see also just few pieces of paper that were not exactly paintings, but they were just like some sketches, very quickly done or, crudely done. Also in the same sort of what Leo does, but way darker. These kind of things.
Zoopsy.
Any of them have the symbols?
Nope, none of them do actually. You do find the symbol everywhere in the room as well, though. In every corner, next to the wallpaper, everywhere. What you also see in this room, you can see 2 reading easels with 2 books, very heavy books that are currently open. You can see a small piece of paper extending from one of the books. Let me actually show you which one it is once I can actually find it. I will find it. I swear to God, I will find it.
We believe you.
Well, that's one of us. Yeah, okay. I did not put it there. That's bad. That's bad planning on my part. Anywho, the paper says, I lay next to me the king in yellow. Never before a book had such a strong impression on my entire being. I had struggled to contain everything that was going through my mind at this moment, that was extending until it gave me impression to break the even fabric of time. The everlasting question of the night watch: have you found the yellow sign? Could not find better answer than those weird visions that were forming within me. Myriads of yellow shapes were rushing in front of my eyes and ended up forming together behind my eyes and creating visions. They let me see an entire city worthy of serving the greatest theater scene of the world. The yellow mark is the key. It will be, and you will soon be able to watch it. I will inscribe it in the cities of old and the new world that will open up to the unfathomable. Continuing to explore those visions that were coming to me after reading The King in Yellow, I could take a step back and watch the city that was forming behind my eyes. It was built around an enormous yellow sign, burning with a cosmic energy that a king was channeling towards Carcosa, transforming it into a city in yellow. It was connected to other cities containing also a yellow mark, turning and swirling, opening out to the infinity. The yellow mark brings the door. There is a mark in German that says Das Tür, translation for the door. The door, Das Tür, feeds of the yellow mark. The visions bring the yellow mark that brings the door, Das Tür. I could open the door behind my eyes. For a brief moment, I saw another city in yellow behind the door, Das Tür. Trying to rememorate and remember fragments of this vision, it appears perfect to me. An architectural, gargantuan dream. The first cities in yellows created to open the door, Das Tür, to the original city in yellow, and will never be just more than pale copies. Their destiny is to fall and vanish after the coming of the actual city in yellow. These sheets of paper are just loose within the books. The books themselves seem old, as in really old, especially the one on the left. You can see a recollection of events, weird events, dating back centuries. The other book seems to be sort of like a copy in progress of the first one. Somebody seems to be gradually reproducing the book. But yes, if you wish to grab said book, by the way, this will be for a little bit later in the episode. Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Oh, this is all in French, or is it a mix of different languages? Or I mean, I see
Most of
there's
it-
some German words.
Yes, most of it is in French. It seems that the only German part was the translation of the door. That's true.
How old is the French? Is it a modern vernacular or something more, older dialect, shall we say?
Seems slightly older. It's not like dialect of old, but it does seem to have this sort of how can I say that, elegantness that we use in like old
Formal.
sort of formal. Yes.
Very formal.
And the book that was being copied, was it being copied in the same language or was it being transcribed?
It was being transcribed. The original book that you have is written in French. The cover says Chronicle of the Monk Séraphin Dietler. According to the date on the very, very old leather binding, it seems to be dating 1492.
It's an awful year.
I think we should also, I think we should grab both. And not
Yeah, no
just
doubt.
one.
So we can compare, see if they were taking out things or maybe adding things.
Adding things, maybe something about their plans. Maybe they are trying to write a new version with whatever they're planning on doing being the next chapter, perhaps.
Yeah. All right, let's keep moving because
Also feels a bit cultish, and I just don't want to leave it behind.
Oh,
Yeah.
these papers and definitely cultish or very strong liquor and maybe a little bit of shell shock mixed in. I've seen people talk like this after they've lost their wits in battle. Oof. Shall we
Talking about
check
liquor.
out the liquor cabinet?
The liquor cabinet has been raided, I would say. You can see that there used to be
Justice in the
tons
world.
and tons of like expensive kind of bottles. Most of them are empty at this point.
That's disappointing.
I mean, you still have some alcohol in most of them. Some, peach liquor, most of all. Very, traditional here.
Bottles
You would-
closed, or have they been previously opened?
They have been opened. You will notice, by the way, there are like traces of ink that seems to have been spilled on the easel that is with the book that is currently being reproduced. The ink
The
doesn't
liquor
seem to
is
be
a
that
little
old.
messy.
Mm.
It's not fully dry yet. Takes a while to dry. Ink does, but not super long. That's
Can I
odd.
can I inspect the other two rooms?
Yes, you can. Absolutely. What you can see in the other two
Flashlight?
rooms. There we go. Yeah, give me a flashlight, yes. The kitchen itself is not very fascinating. It's, mostly just, kitchen material. Nothing that you would really... That feels unexpected here. In the bedroom, however, you can see on the side, like on the sort of nightstand that is on the side, there is a book called The King in Yellow.
No.
Mm,
You should read it.
Percy will pick that up.
As we're going through the kitchen and the bedroom, does it appear that only one person lived here, or perhaps that there was two?
Judging mostly with the bedroom, you can see that it's only an apartment for like one person.
Okay.
You can notice, however, that the bedroom and the kitchen have been mostly unused. The bed is still made, not like the picture actually says, but yeah, the bed is made. The kitchen is clean, no dirty dishes in the sink, nothing. Those rooms make it look like they haven't been used in a while. On the nightstand, by the way, Percy, you also find a small sheet of paper that has been sort of removed with a list of addresses. Let me actually get it to you right now. The list of addresses is the following. If I can manage to actually share with you. I will be able to do it because I am a good DM. I prepared. Not enough, but I prepared.
Second that motion.
Alright. There should be the list. You have lived long enough in Strasbourg to recognize that these are all addresses within Strasbourg. These are all streets that are in Strasbourg.
Mm. 9 Rue de l'Église. We know that one.
Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Oh,
Are they
no.
construction areas?
Not all of them, no.
No.
If you want, I can show you back the map of Strasbourg for you to see if you can pinpoint them. Give me a sec.
Why do I have a feeling there'll be more explosives there?
Yeah, that's what
at
I'm
all
thinking.
of these.
Explosives out, or perhaps already planted.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
This
believe
is
that
definitely-
you should be able to draw on it if you need to draw anything. I think that there's a tool for that for you to, draw some shit.
Okay.
If you don't have it, you can click on the menu on top and click on drawings.
My internet's so slow I can't pull up the map.
Really?
Oh,
sorry.
Shit, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Wow.
I'm having to watch the stream. I'm like, okay, I remember.
The second address is just north of Flavor.
Also, I was mistaken about something. The name of the book that you picked up on the on the nightstand was not the King in Yellow, but the City in
Oh.
Yellow. Here's
City.
the book and the letter that I translated on the fly, but that I already did. I just forgot that I did that there. Which is good because you can see that there is a side note on the second page that says that may the red aurora, it's a hard word, reveal what remains to be done, when the stars shall be extinguished and the final end shall come. This seems to have been written in a very strict kind of handwriting. One that, Matthias, you're pretty familiar with. It feels very German in the way it's written.
Yeah.
It's not written in German, but it is very Germanic in the way it's written.
It is, yes. Like a formal thing you learn in school.
Pretty much. Like very elegant, like calligraphy and very elaborate.
I will pass this along to the group. Obviously, this hand is someone who had a lot of schooling in a German school, perhaps, just the way they write it.
Percy, since you were investigating the bedroom, one thing kind of caught your eye. On top of the bed, there is a painting of Strasbourg. You recognize Strasbourg because of the cathedral that is very central. But you don't really... I mean, it seems off. You have seen Strasbourg enough to notice that some stuff are off. You can see that in the sky there are like two weird suns that are red-ish in tint. You can see that the cathedral is definitely the right one because of the one spire that is very characteristic of that cathedral, but it is surrounded by a lake. You can see weird creatures looking like gargoyles just flying around the spire of the cathedral, and all of the streets are flooded. It's a very odd, feeling when you watch it. Like a twisted version of Strasbourg. You hear a few knocks at the door, and you hear Antonin's voice. Are you soon done?
I think we're done here.
Yeah, let's go.
What was there any information on that? What was the book that Percy found on the nightstand?
City in Yellow.
The City in Yellow.
Is that
it would take you a bit of time to read it, but it seems to be some sort of a novel.
Okay.
All right.
So that's it's definitely going to take it, but I'm just a little bit confused, and it's probably me being here at 10 to 5 in the morning. But the City in Yellow book that you read the part from. Is this the same book, and he's copying parts out of it?
No, it's a
different
separate
book. Different book.
So there's two books called The City in Yellow.
There is one book called The City in Yellow. It's the one that you found on the nightstand. It's the one that has a cover that says Die Stadt in Gelb, which means in German the city in yellow. And the books that you have found on the easels, the one being reproduced, is the Chronicles from Seraphin Dietler, some monks' chronicles.
From 1492 or something.
1492,
Yeah.
yes.
But it references the City in Yellow.
It does.
But one of the bits of paper
Some of the
that
notes were found
Sorry,
in
what
it
was
referenced the City in Yellow.
Hold on, Percy, what was that?
but one of the bits of paper that was sticking out of the book on the easel that had the passage from the City in Yellow written on it, right?
Yes. It was just
Okay.
laying randomly in like the book that is currently being reproduced, the one in writing.
Did anyone take a note of where it was in the book?
They're scattered throughout. They weren't in one place.
Would you take time to look at the book?
Me?
Just people.
I would have. I was gonna say if there were sheets in there, I would have checked to see if they were being used as bookmarks. I would have looked at the approximate location where they were, because that's something Matthias would definitely do, is just grab a piece of paper to mark a book if he was in a hurry.
There's not really bookmarks in these very heavy volumes. They both are open at a certain page. It seems to be the last one in the original book, and the new one seems to be more not through with it. It's just halfway done the reproduction.
And those pieces of paper, were they in any particular location?
Not
or any
really,
interesting locations?
They were sort of scattered about. The books were laying on them. It seems that they have been read and discarded and read and just put in random places. Yes, Bridget?
So the original Chronicles of the Monk was written in French, and then he was translating it into German.
Yes.
His version? Okay.
The knock happens again on the door. People.
Oh,
I
yeah.
know the person from the second floor is like about to come home, and she is a gossip. I would really need you to get out now, please.
Well, I think we've done all
Yeah.
we can here.
Yep,
You.
we leave.
He very promptly closes the door behind you. You haven't disturbed anything, right? You haven't like changed
Nope.
anything. Because
Nope.
if he ends up coming back, I don't want to be in any kind of trouble. Just want to make
Oh,
sure
no.
that it's clear. Okay.
Of course.
I guess we've discreetly taken the books and things like
Yeah.
that.
Oh yeah.
I didn't touch anything. Bridget can say completely honestly.
So
Yes,
just for
Bridget
the-
did not touch a
the-
thing.
for the DM's omniscience, what did you take from the apartment if you took anything?
We took the two books, the French version and the German translation that were on the easels, and the
Okay,
notes that
cool.
were with them.
Okay.
Percy
So-
took the City in Yellow book off the nightstand, and was there a bit of paper on the nightstand?
Mhm. With the
Mhm.
addresses.
With the
Very
addresses.
important.
The addresses, yeah.
Oh yes, yeah,
Very
definitely.
important.
Okay, sounds good. Okay. You are now out on the street. It feels a little bit weird to see all those people just smiling and having their lives when like you have this very uneasy feeling after being in that apartment. But people are just living their lives. You can see people just coming back from the bakery. It's still very early afternoon, so it's just like late bread, I would say. You can see more and more people just putting the posters about everywhere. It's just, people are living. So what are you up to?
I think we need to connect some dots.
Yeah,
Indeed.
and I'm worried that there's more. These are so many addresses to try and go through. I think we need to call in help.
Do we
think
need
Charles-
to hit every single address?
Not us personally, but
Was that
Go ahead.
Bridget?
A weird idea. Just
Mhm.
if we could take a minute when we get somewhere to look at the map and the addresses. Did they make any kind of pattern that,
Hmm.
Could you give me an intelligence save?
Oh, I can.
Yes, you can, but you asked for it.
Damn it.
Was that Percy?
I was gonna suggest that was a connecting the dots statement. So can I do the same thing?
Yes, you can.
But point of order. Let's not have this discussion on the street. We should.
On the street,
no.
right?
No, that's
Yeah,
why
yeah.
I said when we get someplace that we can. I just
We
didn't want to forget.
Yeah.
Speaking in the car, should we, I could, purpose a boardroom at the hotel perhaps, and we could spend some time studying. I don't think hitting the streets will be beneficial right now. We need to really make some
Strategize.
sense of all of this.
Yeah.
Um,
Agreed.
Okay.
With her intelligence of 5, she rolled a 3.
She
Woo!
did. She did. Well
We
done.
could.
So, trying to connect the dots. Let's take a look at that. Do you see the map of Strasbourg at the moment?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. So, taking the addresses in order, let me help you with that a little bit. We have the Rue des Grandes Arcades. Is this? It is not the right color. I will put it something in red so that you can see it a little better. The Rue des Grandes Arcades is over here. Rue de la Mésange is like the 2 and the 7 are here. Rue de l'Église are. You have been there actually. I
We have
believe.
been.
You have been there. And it is not too far from
Are you
here.
pinging? I'm not seeing anything.
I'm not seeing these marks.
Oh,
So
Yeah.
sorry. That's a good point. I will. Oh, this is why. How about now?
Yeah.
There we
better.
go.
yes.
Yes. They are very crude drawings, but they're drawings nonetheless.
I get the idea across.
Yes. Rue de l'Église. I cannot find it anymore, but I had it. I will circle back to it eventually. Rue Saint-Pierre-le-Jeune. This one, however, I have seen very recently. Rue Saint-Pierre-le-Jeune. God damn it. Feel free to search with me, by the way. You can, in theory, draw it as well.
Still addresses. Okay.
Da-da-da-da-da.
Sorry, it's really long. What I do.
I mean, with an intelligence save, like with the save that you have done, I would say that you do not necessarily see a very clear pattern.
Okay.
But what you can see is that it's definitely spread out all across the neighborhood. In like almost half of the city is covered by those addresses. You can see them in many places.
Okay.
It might need a little bit more investigation to try to figure out if there is a pattern, but at the moment you cannot see one.
Because that last Republique is a circle, and I was thinking, if there was things
Yeah.
that were coming from that.
Yeah.
Most of those
You mean the one near
places,
the hotel?
though, the one near the hotel, you know that this place is huge, absolutely huge. There are like a few, how do you call that, warehouses. The one that the last item on the list is actually the sort of like beer factory warehouses. The one that is Rue de la Fonderie. It's like a big building.
Mm. So. Okay.
Okay, so we
So-
want to go find a boardroom or something where we can spread out our map, look at the things that we just found, and kind of formulate a plan from there.
Yeah.
What we're doing.
I think that's a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
Probably for the best.
So where
Right
would
now.
you gather?
guess-
Herbert's
guess-
Hotel.
Guess the drawing room in Percy's suite or something. If that's in a place that exists.
You can definitely go to Percy's suite, no problem. Going away from there, you start to hear people screaming. Not screaming in like horror and agony, but like there seems to be a commotion near the construction sites.
Mm.
Oh no.
We should at least check it out.
Yeah.
When you get close, you can see tons of just Strasbourg people, basically. Not a lot of construction workers. They're still like in the construction sites and stuff. But there is like a gathering of people who just seems to be like, talking. Like, have you felt it? Like, what was that? It doesn't happen that often. I mean, there was one recently, but not that recently. And now they're like congregating like 10s, 15s of people.
What end? Where? On the street?
Towards the end of the Rue du 22 Novembre, the one that is towards the very end, like close to the Place Kléber, basically.
Mm-hmm.
But they seem agitated and, more curious than scared, I would say.
May I ask what happened?
You didn't feel that? There was an earthquake. Just now,
Oh.
just like a few minutes ago.
I know who were riding in the car.
Oh, well then you must have some super good suspension. No, like the whole neighborhood like just like started shaking and stuff. I mean, at first I didn't feel it myself, but like there was some rubbles that started to move, so I thought that like people were like pushing something, but then everything was shaking. I broke two plates in my house. It doesn't really happen during that time of year.
So as a person from California, no matter where we were, and even in the car, we would feel the earthquake.
Yes. And point of order, you did not feel it.
Okay. Kit knows that. Bridget probably can't figure that out.
Okay. Wow. Interesting.
It's
there?
Yeah.
Is the city in trouble? I mean, has power gone out to the city, or?
No. I mean, in Alsace we are used to having a few earthquakes here and there, and this one was not that big, so I don't think it's a problem for the city now. Although it does seem to be a problem for the constructions. I don't think that the workers are very happy with it. I mean, imagine trying to build something and then everything is shaking and everything falls on you. That's not great.
Oh, that wouldn't be fun.
This isn't one of the locations where we were expecting explosives, is there?
No, it doesn't seem to be close to one of those places.
Was there one building that it seemed to be worse, or like where the epicenter is?
The people that you see seem to be mostly coming from the surroundings of Place Kléber. Also, Odile, could I get a smoke check, please, for your conversation?
Sure. Let's try this out.
Okay.
Oh, nope.
Getting in the middle of all those people who were like overly excited and overly talking about everything took a little bit out of you. You were like, I'm sorry, please, and just like it just took so much out of you just to be heard. So your D8 becomes a D6.
Yeah.
Nevertheless, do you continue going towards the hotel?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think there's much to be done here.
I suppose.
Note it, file it.
Onwards to the Petit Papier, where Maurice brings you very silently, making sure that he doesn't pry into anything that he's not supposed to. You arrive at the hotel where you're being greeted with all the regards that you are used to, Percy. And you arrive to his hotel room, which is fancy. Bridget, you're not used to that level of fancy. That's fancy. And Percy, I think it's the first time that you bring them to your room, actually. So
yes.
They now have a glimpse into your way of living, depending on how you feel about that.
Yeah, no, he's all. He didn't want this to be happening in public, and that's the most private place he's got, and has also got a large dining table in a room that is made of rich mahogany, and the whole place is spick and span immaculate. Just, think of the sort of place James Bond would stay.
Yeah, Odie's perfectly at home. Like, oh, this isn't how everybody lives,
Yeah, this is your element. You're used to that.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah. Like this is standard, right? Okay. So what we got?
I did an intelligence roll a while back.
Yes.
Which was a success.
It was. It was to try to figure out a pattern, right?
Yeah, but in a more studied fashion, not just glancing at the map in the car.
Okay. Yeah.
When we had time to spend, like, because it's afternoon, evening now, so we could work into the night on this.
It's like 3 or 4 p.m. right now, so you have like plenty of time to just debrief and take a look at it. So no problem whatsoever.
Go through all the things.
All of the things, like all of the addresses. Okay.
Odie will ask Matthias if we can like start going through the copied books and the non, to see, because I can't read the German part, but we could go through and see if there's changes made, in those two books. So I figure we could do that part while you guys are looking at the map.
No, it's very similar to things I've read in school. Very formally written, not a problem.
When you look at the book itself, it doesn't seem to have any. It didn't seem that it took any liberty in the way that they, reproduced it. It seems to be very verbatim what was written in the original book. The content of said book we will keep for a bit later in the episode because it's quite long.
Yeah, we'd probably be more focused in on changes anyway, so we might have even read that and not. It probably won't click in our heads for a little while anyway, because we're looking not quite at it. We're looking to see what's different, if
Very
anything.
true.
Very good translation, though. Very good.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking a little bit more at the map, try to figure out all the addresses. The Rue de l'Église that you have found was actually right there, very close to where you were with the apartment. Rue Saint-Pierre-le-Jeune was it was a bit higher here. It is actually it is right there. Let me actually show the people at home who are following the story. Rue de la Nuée Bleue. This one.
Oh yeah.
Look. This one is more there. It's actually in here somewhere. The 15 would be around here, about. Rue du Tribunal. This is actually a bit higher. I should know my Strasbourg better than I do currently. That's bad job. Yeah, it is here. You're absolutely right. It is here. It is all across the street, by the way, with the numbers. You can see it's like all across the Rue du Tribunal. Rue de la Petite Fonderie. This one. Oops, no, that's not one. There we go. Yes, this one is a little bit on the right. Yeah, that's the one. It is located in here specifically, like number 1 is around here. And the 3 Rue de la Fonderie is a little bit further. Like basically, like those two addresses are like here. So if you were to see a pattern and everything that you see is like roughly this.
Does this happen to look anything like the expansions that we were seeing in the Riedelmeyer's apartment?
Give me an intelligence roll.
You got it.
Well, that to me looks like the
Success.
It could be. It could match what you see on the model. Yes. What was that, Percy?
That looks to me, particularly the way you've drawn it, to be the upper tentacle.
Of the symbol, yes.
Yeah.
And going by the painting that I saw on the bed, one might deduce that once these explosives go off, this whole
Facial flood.
this whole inner island, I guess you might call it, centered around Place Colbert, is they intend to make into a lake.
The painting was not centered around the Place Kléber. It was actually centered around the cathedral, which is a bit further down right. The cathedral is actually, just to show you the place exactly, it is here about. Like, I should really learn to use that tool. It is roughly there. Cathedral is in this area.
Ah, yeah, I think.
So the painting, the cathedral was overlooking this lake.
Yeah, the lake was this whole area around the cathedral. It was not as much as a lake as it was the streets that were completely flooded. And the whole place that the cathedral is overlooking at was completely flooded, making it look like a lake.
Is the cathedral on higher ground in that particular region than the rest of the neighborhood?
Not
Like on a
necessarily.
hill?
It's not very much higher than the rest of the neighborhood. It's just that it is one of the towering building in that area. It is very tall, very huge, very noticeable from anywhere in Strasbourg. You could always see the spire, the single spire. Can you roll me like a I would call that an intelligence save, Matthias?
Do we save?
Yes.
Yes.
okay.
Sorry, I double-clicked. I don't know which one was first.
The first one that I see is no success.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
That would be the one I rolled.
Okay. Yeah. Carry on.
Could, based on Percy's knowledge of that painting, because we left that behind, I believe.
And you were the only one who
was
saw it.
It was a wide painting.
Could you roughly draw where he saw the streets were flooded? Maybe.
Yeah.
In like
Absolutely. Let me
maybe
do
in
that.
like blue or something.
For the theme of today's game, I will draw that in sort of a yellow color. This whole area over there was flooded.
Bringing out the yellow.
Oh, I was like, I don't see it. Okay, there it is. Okay.
Yeah.
In
that
one of the
doesn't
paintings that Leo did was the cathedral that had the symbol on it.
Yep.
That he doesn't remember
Yes.
painting. Okay.
Percy, the more you try to recollect what you have seen on the painting, the more like the image is getting a little bit blurry and darker. And you remember the spire, you remember the water, you can remember the streets, but you also start to remember the sort of gargoyles that were flying around. They were dark, deformed, sort of ominous, and the more you try to recollect, you almost see them moving and just screeching around the cathedral, and you have this sort of sudden flash where you're not in your suite anymore. You're just in the middle of Strasbourg looking at buildings that are completely falling apart, their wooden parts twisted in unnatural ways. You look up and you can see the whole sky is red. You can see two suns and the shape of one of those gargoyles flying on top just over you. You have this moment of dread as your vision comes back to the current situation and your friends in front of you. I would need a sanity check, please. You're good.
I felt for a moment like I was in some of those crazy paintings.
Oh, that's not good.
You've been working too hard.
I guess he's gonna pour himself a wee drinky.
That's a
Yeah.
very soldierly response to that sort of thing.
That feels about right.
Okay.
Is that rum by any chance?
No, it's brandy.
Oh. Rest for the
He
wicked.
has standards, okay?
It's very traditional, Nostrio, to drink rum.
It is. He very much is.
I could arrange a bottle of rum if you would like. In fact,
No.
should we get dinner sent up?
That would be great. That would
It
be
is still-
wonderful.
It is
How
still
cold is it tonight?
afternoon, though. Like, right now it is still around 4-ish, so you still have, like, a little bit of time, unless you want to have an early dinner. That's completely up to you.
I figured we'd been working at this for a few hours by now.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Makes sense. So you call it a day and have dinner?
Maybe an early supper. Yeah.
Yeah.
Working dinner.
Yeah. Because we still need to figure out our next steps. So we've got all this information.
Well,
But
yeah,
then
we have,
what do
we
we
have a
do
lot
with
of
We have
unanswered
pieces.
questions.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like Ambrosius was supposedly kicked out, but there's been someone in that apartment. As well as they've been showing up and visiting Leo every couple of months.
Right. So where is he staying? Not that that's as important as.
Well, yeah, and who else is showing up at that apartment? These translations haven't stopped, and they don't seem like they're that. They don't seem like they're that old. They have not been. This translation has not been sitting there for years. It's fairly recent. I mean, days maybe.
Yes, Bridget?
Janet, maybe you could contact your nurse friend, and if he shows up at the asylum, she could let us know.
That is doable, yes.
You want to contact the
so-
asylum?
Yeah, I can go and do that.
Okay.
Assume there's a phone in the suite, no?
I would assume so.
Maybe make that one from a public telephone in the lobby.
Alright. You reach the operator who transfers you to Stephansfeld Asylum. You recognize the sweet voice of the woman at the front desk. Stephansfeld Asylum, what can I do for you?
Oh. Now, I'm sure Janet would remember the name of the nurse, but Chelsea's memory is a whole different thing. So she
I
would
feel you
be-
there.
You do.
I don't think I wrote down the name. I just said the nurse.
Yeah, I did the same
You
thing.
definitely remember the nurse's name.
I would ask if she is on duty and if she could have a moment to speak.
Yes, please hold a moment. I will try to find her.
Lovely.
The sound cuts for a bit, complete silence, and as the sound comes back, you're very surprised to not hear the voice of the woman at the front desk or the nurse, but a man.
Oh.
Hello, who am I speaking to?
Hi there. This is not who I expected.
No. Currently, the nurse has been sent in a vacation of sorts for being a little bit indiscreet about some of our patients. Now, who are you, please?
Oh dear. That is very, very unethical of them. Well, I was hoping to have a chat with them about someone who I was just calling to see how my friend is at the asylum, but apparently you will do just fine. I'm calling to check up on Ezekiel.
Ah, completely understandable. And I would be happy to chat as soon as you answer my question and tell me who you are.
Oh, apologies. I must have missed that. My name is Janet Ray. I brought Ezekiel in.
Ah, yes, Ezekiel. Can you roll me a smoke check, please?
Yeah, sure. We can do that.
Yes, you can. Okay.
Oh, I can. Look at me go.
You can.
Your
Yes, yeah.
sweet voice kind of, disarmed the guy a little bit. Well, I'm sorry for being so abrupt. It is my job to take care of everybody in the institution.
Of course.
My name is Charles Frankhauser. I am the director of the asylum. You were wondering about Ezekiel, right? Brought in 2 days ago, 3 days ago, I believe.
Yes. Just wanted to check in on his condition?
He is not doing great, to be completely honest with you. He has been unresponsive to any kind of discussions with our healthcare professionals. He has not been socializing with the other patients. He's mostly remained secluded in his room, drawing and drawing all the time and repeating some, nonsense, as you have witnessed when you have dropped him in. So unfortunately, at the moment, there is no progress, but it is not unusual for people with this kind of breakdown that the treatment would take years, if any.
Of course.
I'm
I
very
did
sorry
hear
to not
that
have
there
better news.
is there anybody else who's had a similar type of breakdown?
Not recently. Why do you feel there is like a connection of sorts?
Maybe. I just also wanted to make sure that, Ezekiel's in the right place and that you actually have experience with such a thing.
Oh, you can believe me, he is very well taken care of. We pride ourselves in making sure that our patients are comfortable and well treated. It is just a complicated matter. Many studies are being done right now worldwide about these kind of illnesses, but it is still a new subject, relatively speaking.
Of course. Well, thank you for your time, Director. I'm sure you're a very busy man, so I will let you go.
Feel free to visit your friend anytime, though. It is.
Of course.
He does not seem to be a danger to himself or you at the moment, so visitation are absolutely open. You are the only one who has asked about him at the moment.
We will make sure we visit poor Ezekiel soon.
Thank you.
Of course.
Well, have a great day, miss.
You as well.
He hangs up.
She'll toddle back to the group and be like, our contact has been relieved of her duties, it seems.
Yay.
What
Well,
happened?
that's not good.
She was perhaps a little not so discreet in giving away information and got found out.
I wonder who found her out.
Well, that's all right. Now we're no telling when he would have been visiting anyway, so it was a long shot. Now what? Do we clue Charles in about the explosives? Or have his people
What
check
if
out
we
these
did
places?
something else, actually? What if we asked him how he came up with these plans that seem remarkably similar to what we saw at
Or at the
Diethelm?
very least, ask him how he obtained his job.
You wanted to say something, Percy?
In the note from Rudolf Schwindler, they mentioned a cave on number 4 Kleber Square.
Yeah.
I wonder if that is where this Ambrosius fellow has based himself out of. It was mentioned the explosive delivery, and perhaps he's using his apartment just as a drop-in center.
Oh, that would make sense.
Just a thought.
Yeah.
It'd be a good place to hide.
Yeah, for sure. All right.
Not too many people hang out near caves.
Also a cave in the middle of a city. It's,
under it, probably. Yeah, but
well, yes, under it, but even still, are there catacombs in Strasbourg? I know that's a thing.
They're not as spread out as they would be in Paris, for instance, but there is a pretty extensive, sewer system at the very least underneath the city, but not very much catacombs per se.
Would we be able to deduce that that's probably what this cave is? or part of, or like with our knowledge of the city? Or are we just like baffled by the term cave?
Idea.
That seems unlikely. You haven't heard any mention of something like that in recent years or something. So it doesn't seem to be talking about the sewer system.
Right.
Feels odd.
Seems a bit off to me.
Does seem very off. But nevertheless, that would be a good place. If such a place did exist, it'd be a good place to hide, something people wouldn't look for.
Well, I mean, all these talks of these people coming and going from the construction sites, and they're seen one day and not seen the next, and then, I saw that chap, but I hadn't seen him before, and all those stories we've been told, it's stacking up that there might be some central point where they are, based from, and if it's a hidden underground cave, that is quite the clue.
Yeah.
Now, Bridget's thinking cave, people dumping earth in the river. Yeah. I don't know if they're like trying to dig something out of a cave, and they're.
Well, they were also talking about mining in that one letter as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they're moving. What does it say? I'm just gonna handle the explosive delivery. So they may well be from the central cave, making an underground network, and that, as you say, Bridget, is why they're dumping the landfill at nighttime. Under the cover of darkness when people aren't watching it. We should probably find out what happened to dear Chris, by the way.
I thought we found out he died. No?
No.
He was alive. He was in bad shape when they put him in the ambulance. Real bad.
Yeah.
So how would you like to proceed?
Call the hospital and get an update, probably.
Yeah.
Would you like to make such call?
I can, if you want me to.
Okay, sounds good. You call the civil hospital, which the operator connects you to, and they pick up. After a long time, they seem to be, a busy establishment. Civil hospital?
Oh, yes. I'm a friend of a person who was brought in recently. He was found at a building site. His name is Chris.
Chris, do you have any last name?
I'm sorry, I don't. He
brings a lot.
he was he was unhoused. He didn't have a home, but
that one. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, he was a really nice guy. I'm just checking in on him.
Are you family?
Well, no. I just want to see if he's okay. You don't have to tell me, anything specific. Just making sure he's on the mend.
Well, as you can imagine, I cannot go into many details without proof of affiliation, but all I can say is that he is alive. He's not okay, though.
Okay. Is he allowed visitors?
Yes, although I do not know for how long they will keep him. He cannot really pay for his health, for his treatment, and he's in a. I'm not sure how long he's going to stay with us. So if you need to see your friend, maybe sooner rather than later would be better for you.
Oh, well, okay. If he has to leave the hospital but he's not ready to, where will he go? Do they send him somewhere else, or
you hear a heavy, sad sigh on the other side of the phone. it might not be money issues that kick him out of the hospital. I'm sorry, I cannot say anymore, but I can only recommend that if you need to see him, come soon.
Okay, thank you.
Brace yourself, is not okay.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And
Have a
so
great day.
you too. So she'll hang up and then tell everybody, oh gosh, I don't think he's going to survive this. He's alive at the moment, but it's not looking good.
I need a smoke roll from your deal, by the way.
Oh, yes. Smoke.
You're good. Okay. All right. I would assume that you, again, dine on Percy's tab. Unless
When
stated
Bridget
otherwise.
gets the biggest steak she can. Just kind
In
of
that
rubs her jaw where he smacked her.
And because this is a very fancy place, the biggest steak you can get is about that big, because this is
I'll
Pretty
get
fine
a
much.
couple of them.
But it is
But it looks
delicious.
beautiful. It is accompanied. Oh, it's a piece of art to look at.
Look at
In
that
that-
tomahawk.
In
Dang.
that case, Herbert, I think you know what I need. Thank you very much.
You got it, dude.
You're good. Good. The more, but at every day that passes, the waiter comes back with your tab, and the piece of paper seems to be getting longer and longer every single day. But nonetheless, you're a good client, so for now, everything is taken care of. Do you have something else you would like to do before spending the night and going to September 11th?
Oh, damn.
Do we want to visit Chris? I mean, I feel bad for the man. We didn't want that to happen to him, but there's something afoot, and I can't help but feel like we are running against a different clock than Chris is.
I don't know if he will have anything that can help us. We
I just
saw what happened to him. I don't think he'll have more information. But I feel like there's other more. I'm sorry. I don't think we can help him, and I don't think he can help us.
If you
I just
all
don't
end
think
up
we-
going to visit, how would you know about his injuries?
Yeah,
Mm.
I don't. I think there's other things that we could focus on.
Okay.
Like, do we want to go see Charles? Do we want to go to the cathedral? We have a lot of things.
I just think that but you could see him, but I just think this issue we have does have these explosives could be deployed at any time. Goodness knows who else could be injured if we don't check on this immediately. I just feel like there's a sense of urgency. I do feel bad about not seeing Chris, but nevertheless, we got to do what's best for everybody. I say the cave. Percy has sold me on that idea. That seems very important, and if we can disrupt them there, perhaps this could be resolved.
Yeah. That makes sense. Should we start out at first light? Just have another night and then head out in the morning? Or do you guys want to tackle it at night?
Would it also not be beneficial to bring someone in to perhaps check these other addresses to see if there are just explosives lying around in apartments or whatever?
Do we want to be telling other people about what's going on?
Yeah.
Whether it's just something as simple as, we've heard there may be more explosives in XYZ. Perhaps here's an anonymous tip.
Might be more comfortable. Maybe we,
As a note, when Charles gave you all the information about the investigation, he gave you also the name of the superintendent that was in charge of the investigation. So if you were to leave an anonymous tip, you know that you would have to go to Mr. Levy.
Okay.
We could send him a telegram with the list of addresses. I'm sure Maurice could organize that anonymously.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'd say that might be a
Sure.
little challenging.
It would be a shame to go cave diving just to have a bunch of explosives go off.
Yeah.
I suspect, if my hunch is correct, that there won't be anything found above ground, perhaps.
Mm.
Not anymore.
Nevertheless, if the police were to get an anonymous tip-off and do their own investigations, it's not a bad course of action, I don't think.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of spelunking and all the cave diving and shit we're gonna do, Bridget would like to pick up a flashlight at some point.
Smart.
Just
Okay. Yeah, that can easily be found. It's not very convenient. You don't really have like a very small handheld flashlight, but you do have enough to provide some light.
I don't know if it's big and hefty and I can smack somebody with it, all the better.
It's a little
well, all the
fragile.
better then. Well, that
Those
would
things
be something for the next morning for sure. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there even such a thing as a handheld flashlight in 1920? Be a paraffin lamp. Be a paraffin lamp or something, wouldn't it?
Yeah, go on.
Look, I was gonna say, as far as I know, the electric lanterns back then had like a thing that looked like a car battery attached to them to give you a little bit of light. It was big, kind of fragile too, but they had some very.
Close-ish.
Go ahead.
They didn't have like actual flashlights, but they were heavy tubes with the very wide lens and everything. It's not discreet by any chance.
No, not at all. She doesn't care about that.
But
That's some very good gas ones, though, if I remember. Advanced.
that's true. That's very true. Okay. Last questions before you spend the night. Do any of you get deeper into any of the books?
I would think translating would be exhausting, just try to look for any nuance of meaning. So I don't think I'd want to look at either the book translation or the original anymore tonight.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, in that case, morning comes on September 11th, 1920. Today is Saturday. The the weather is not that great. It's getting a little bit grayish. It's supposed to get better tomorrow, perhaps. But in any case, the day is yours. What are you up to?
We're giving the addresses to Maurice to telegram Charles.
Charles
Just someone
Levi.
dropping off a note anonymously at this police station. That'd be easier.
Do you want to send it to Charles, your hire?
No,
like
no.
Your
No, the superintendent.
Okay.
Oh,
Charles
yeah,
Levi.
that's right.
Okay, yeah. Okay. Maurice just
When you-
nods.
'cause when you
doesn't ask any question.
When you say superintendent, you mean he's a detective with the police?
Yes, he's basically like the guy in charge of the whole police department.
Yeah, Levy. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, to him. Percy would instruct Maurice to send it from a undisclosed telegram location with don't leave
No
a trace,
connections to it.
Maurice.
Okay.
He knows the drill.
Okay. It doesn't take long for him to do it and actually come back. You're still in the middle of your breakfast as he comes back with the news. Sir, it has been done. I have given a false name as they were requiring one. None that can be traced to any of you. If you
Thank
need
you very
anything,
much,
I will be
Maurice.
by the car.
We will be out presently. We will be taking a wee trip today.
Okay. He exits the building.
Do we want to tell Charles Bonjean about what we are doing? Or do we want to ask him about why his renovations look exactly like somebody else's plan?
If you're insinuating what I think you might be, perhaps we don't show our hand, because I'm not wholly convinced that he's not involved in this and has been from the beginning.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised to hear you say that. But I'm not convinced he is, but I do think that this is noteworthy. I don't know if he got this from. I don't know if this was his plan or someone else's. Is my suspicion. I'm wondering if he got this from somebody else and he is just a patsy. I trust him in that he loves the city. I don't think he would try to do something like this to it knowingly, but I do think he's foolish enough to take someone else's lead without questioning too much.
I see what you're saying. He's found Ambrosius's plan and thought that looked pretty, with not understanding that. Yes.
Very much. Like he seems that kind of. He doesn't seem like he'd look too close at something like that and be very convinced it's a good idea very easily.
All
But I
right.
don't
Well,
know
we-
either.
well,
If he,
we could by all means question him on how he came up with such a grand plan, and without saying anything else. And
but is that a priority, or should we? Is that something lower on the list today? Something we do later?
That's lower on the list. I think we should check out this cave first. We've done due diligence by giving the addresses to the police to check out, but we should check out this cave and see if we can't find more.
What about?
and
Okay.
no, you go, sir.
Oh, I was gonna say that weird book you found in the bedroom. Do we want to look at that any closer? I mean, I don't know. It seems like the way he talks about it, it makes it sound like it's some kind of weird religious text or cult book or something like that. Some of those new age spiritualist things. I don't know of either. Popular in Vienna a few years ago. But
What?
But do you think there'd be clues there, or do you think it's just ravings of lunatics to other lunatics?
Good question.
You can't make heads nor tails of stuff like that, if I'm being honest. People have tried to get me in those. It just seems like crazy talk.
The few pages I flicked through it just seemed like a load of tripe to me.
Fair enough.
That's not to discount that there may be something in there, but I guess, if people hold funny beliefs, they'll take them from anywhere to justify them.
Fair. I don't know anybody who knows about that sort of thing to ask either. I don't know if this is a famous occult book or not, or something others might know about. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just trying to. Something I thought of last night. I thought I'd bring up anyway, though. It's like, if there's anybody knew about that, I don't know.
The other thing is, it may take quite some time to even find this cave. I suspect it's not just a knock on the door situation, and we should definitely approach very carefully, as I imagine if it is as important as we think it is, it'll either be heavily guarded or heavily hidden.
Probably hidden, though, or maybe both. You're right, though.
But we start at Fort Clabert, so shall we?
All right. Let's go.
Okay. As you get out of the building, you are almost tackled to the ground by some very, very enthusiastic group of young people who are just come, witness that beautiful production that we are preparing. It's going to be an event. It's going to be beautiful. And they just hand each of you a sort of flyer for some sort of like theater performance planned for the next day. The poster that they give you is the following. There it is. I will actually show the people as well. The name of the troupe is called La Libération. And they have
Bohemian theater groups.
Pretty much. They have this sort of big live event with audience participation that seems to be planned for the whole evening of tomorrow, Sunday. please come, please enjoy some time with us and just, you know, exit your normal life for a night of theater. And they're all very theatrical, and they're all very expensive and very, you know, very. That is the word. They are very everything. Janet, could I get
8
a
o'clock on Sunday night? Is that what that says?
Yes, it says this Sunday night starting at 8 p.m.
Yeah.
Okay.
Could I get an intelligence save from Janet, please?
Sure. Oh no.
Oh no. Okay, cool. Cool beans. Okay,
No worries.
no worries. So you're on your way to Place Clébert then. Maurice drives to the street that now he's starting to very much know by now. He knows where to go. He knows where you usually go now. He managed to find the right streets to avoid most of the traffic, most of the people, most of the rubbles. He knows his way now to Strasbourg. He leaves you next to the Place Clébert, where you can just that you can actually reach just by walking. As you get out and you're just trying to find your bearings and see exactly where you are, you hear this woman that is sort of like harassing everybody on the street, and she is openly sobbing right now. Have you seen him? Please tell me you've seen him. And she just goes to another person. Please, you know him. You know Lucien. You know him. He's in the neighborhood forever. Have you seen him? I'm getting very worried. And she goes to people, to construction workers. She goes through everybody.
Bridget?
Okay.
Oh,
Go ahead, Bridget.
I want to point out to the team that the addresses on the poster, Place Clébert, Rue de la Fonderie, and Place Saint-Pierre-le-Jeune, are all on the list of addresses. Just want to
Bridget.
Oh
that.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't notice that?
No, I just wanted to make sure
I
that other
didn't.
people did. Yeah, that's all.
Well, no, I thought, yeah. So
She's
that,
not the
I thought
sharpest tool in the shed, but she
God.
catches some every now and then.
you shot it very well.
Oh boy.
Looking up, Bridget.
Okay.
Very good.
All right.
Anyway, you froze there for a
Nevertheless-
second, Lionel. So she's like,
Yeah.
"Have you seen him?"
yeah. She's basically, have you seen him? She's getting very worried, and but she's getting deeper into the street of 22 November, just asking everybody if they have seen somebody.
Who are you looking for, miss?
My husband, he's a construction worker. He works on like many projects around Strasbourg. His name is Lucien, and I'm getting very worried because he did not come back yesterday from his shift, and I don't know what's happening. This is not like him. Even lately, it's not like him. Have you seen him? Like, do you know who I'm talking about? Do you have any information for me?
Hold on. Please hold for trying
No,
to
do we know-
remember.
I imagine
Do
the
we know
scene where
that-
she's like very worried and asking you, and then you just like this for 45 seconds.
Oh wait, we do know Lucien.
Yeah, I just can't remember from where.
What site was he working at?
Oh, he was mostly at like number 2, and yeah, he was. I mean, I don't know. It's just like he's been in all around those sites. He didn't tell me much about it, but it's. I don't know. He changed. I don't know how to explain. I think he might be in trouble because he was like working like on a special project. He told me that like his boss like got him in a very special projects, and since then he was not talking anymore. He seemed to be distant or like thinking about something else, and he didn't tell me exactly like what special project he was, but he was bringing home more money, so I didn't really want to ask more. But I don't know. I don't think he was on that street actually. It didn't seem like it.
This is the same person that had been relocated to Garden City.
Yes.
Does that sound familiar to her? Garden City?
Yeah, this is where we live. We have been moved there because our apartment was on the line of the breakthrough, and so they relocated us.
Oh, okay. Well, I've heard of Lucien, but was told he didn't come back after his
On the
accident.
sites? He didn't come back on the sites?
Yeah.
He worked every day, every evening. Like, are you sure that nobody saw him? What? I know that he has been working. He came back every evening with this sort of like gray mud all over him. He was obviously working.
Yeah. I don't know who's got him working right now, but it's not the people. It's not like Bastion was a guy who we talked to that knew Lucien.
So he lied. He was not hired by Mr. Bonjans. He lied.
No, I think he was, but I'm not sure. I didn't meet him. I just heard rumors.
I don't know what to say, but even though he was a bit different lately, he always came back, but not yesterday, and that's not like him. Please, if you can find him, please, can you like let me know? I'm easy to find. I will probably be in the street for the rest of the day, or at least until I find him.
If we see hide or hear of him, we will be sure to let you know. And Percy's gonna turn to the rest of them, and go, let's get out of here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. She goes away and like goes to another set of people and starts asking around. And the more she's trying to, get information, the least people are likely to give her, as she's a mess at this moment right now. Odile, I would need a smoke roll, please.
Okay. Ooh.
Okay.
Ouch.
That took a lot out of you. That like calming a sobbing woman that seems to be extremely worried, like that took a lot of you. And you're used to being more with people who are, underlings, if it makes sense. So you don't have the same rapport, and like dealing with somebody on a very human level, you're not very used to. So it really took a lot out of you. So your D6 becomes a D4.
That was like totally exhausting.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I can't even.
She's damaging my comm. Let's go.
Just throwing off your groove.
Okay.
From a distance. Yeah. Wrong game. I don't do song lyrics in this game. When from a distance, what does for Kleber look like? Is it just pretty nondescript from the outside?
But you are copying my accent again, like you did last time. My real accent, not my doll accent. Like, oh my god.
Just at a glance at the place itself, it seems to be just a random apartment building, very nondescript. It seems to be newer than the other side of the square. It seems to be one of the buildings that have been renovated because of the breakthrough, but it seems, very clean and nondescript.
Are there people sort of coming and going, or is there anybody standing guard? Are there lights on inside? Is it
not at the moment? And from what you can see from outside, it doesn't seem to have any light on. It's still very early morning, but it's already sunny, so it doesn't really strike you as odd that there's no light inside. But you don't see any movement.
It's a residential building?
Residential, yes.
No problem.
Is there a closer in map of Place Kleber that we can look at?
Closer map? Well, there's the one that you... Well, there's the main map here that you can zoom onto.
Yeah.
With the numbers, you mean?
Yeah.
Oh, the numbers? Yeah. Let me see. I don't think...
The project map. The project map has Place Clabert on it, but I couldn't
Yeah.
see
it's a
what
little
number
bit
4
hard
is.
to see.
I think we only see number 12.
Yeah, number 4 would basically be... give me 1 second. It's actually not on the left side of it. It is... if you look at where... if you look at the project map picture, you see that the up sort of branch kind of slides right. You can see 987654. This is where the number 4 is. It's like on the south side of Place Clabert.
Oh,
okay.
okay. Gotcha.
Ah, yes.
Right there.
I'm just trying to get my bearings because I'm a very visual person.
Makes sense.
So I'm just gonna do a point of interest on the main map.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I
Perfect.
don't know how I'm doing.
Yeah.
I don't know how to
that's
edit that
exactly
or
the
anything.
right place. Oh, that seems about right.
Okay, so there's a street behind it. Would there be, if we sort of took a stroll around the block, would there be a alleyway to maybe see if there was a back entrance to Fort Clabert?
There is a nearby alleyway that just goes around the building, but not necessarily a back entrance. But you see the windows on the first floor. They could be reachable with a little bit of elbow grease or acrobatics, or just climbing up there if you want to.
I'm sort of like doing a recce walk, and we'll go back to the square.
Should we just try knocking, seeing if maybe there's a place for rent that we could look at, while some of us may go do other things?
Bold, but I like it.
I mean, there's a lot of us to keep track of. At least it brings some people in there, and then if one of you wandered off to use the loo for a while.
Okay, so you go there to knock?
At least we know. At least we would know what we're looking into. We could always come in later, more quietly. At least we know what's there.
Okay.
No objection.
Perhaps rather than a place to rent, maybe we are some form of business partners and we're looking for a place to convert into offices. Perhaps.
Ooh.
Might explain a larger group.
Yes, we're all business associates, but what was our business? Something reputable. Maybe it's something that we work with the city.
Something reputable.
No one's going to want to, our underground fight club is definitely not going to sell too well for most people's business wants.
I love how we went from episode 4, get in, we're doing crime, to episode 5, something reputable.
We're trying to find new titles. The
titles write themselves.
So, something reputable about lying while we're there. Reputable.
I said the front had to be reputable. I didn't say we had to be.
Business
very
in
big
the
distinction.
front, party in the back.
It could be something as simple as we're looking to import fine British cars to the continent.
Sounds good. Let's go in.
Maybe just general imports, import-export. Even better. Down the river, maybe.
It's none of their business what our business is, but
they'll ask. They'll want to know. If we have an automatic answer, we're really here to do that. If we have to think about it, maybe don't rent it that person.
We should have one person answer, because if we give conflicting answers, that's danger.
Yeah, I'll leave that to you guys, I think.
How do you feel about being how about being the president of our new company, Percy? Or would you prefer someone else?
Cunningham Motors sounds good to me.
All right, let's
Excellent. Capital. Let's do this.
Right?
With his cane.
Mhm.
Knock, knock, knock.
Okay. You knock a few
It's cute.
times. Nobody seems to be getting out. You knock again. Doesn't seem to be any movement. You see a young boy on the side that says, "There's nobody yet."
Oh.
Yet.
Yeah, they haven't moved in yet. As long as there's all the construction still going on, they didn't want to move yet because of the noise and the earthquake.
Mm.
Oh, you felt the earthquake as well?
Yes, I was on my house that is over there, and he's just like pointing very excitedly in one of the house that has the corner, and I really felt it. Everything was shaking everywhere. But
Right, we're in
this
the same
building
area.
here, I don't think that they moved in yet. I didn't see anybody in because I would have introduced myself. I take care of the neighborhood.
What is your name, dear boy?
Oh, I'm Jean, and he just shakes your hand vigorously. He cannot be more than like 7 or 9 years old.
But like a wised up street kid, or is he
Yeah.
just? Or is he like? Is he like a street kid, or is he actually got a home
No,
and parents somewhere, presumably?
No, he seems to be more well dressed than a street urchin or something.
Okay.
More precocious than
Mhm.
savvy.
Pretty much.
Gotcha.
But he's like the kid that sort of makes his business of knowing what's going on around the place. He's
Right.
always sort of
Pretty
around.
much.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
you will see when people move in here, this is gonna be a very good choice because the Place Kléber is beautiful. You see the statue of like Kléber here? It's beautiful, right? And there's gonna be lots of businesses and lots of cafes. And I heard that they will be serving ice cream. It's going to be awesome.
And what do you want to be when you grow up, little boy? What did he say his name was?
Jean.
Jean.
Jean. Well, I'm not sure. I wanted to be a fireman, but I'm not sure that I like fire that much. So I was thinking maybe a vet because I like animals. But it's further. Like it's at least 2 or 3 years away, so it's far.
Yeah, that's a long
Yes.
time.
That's forever.
It's so long.
So have you seen the people who purchased this place?
I've seen a few people. I'm not sure these are the people who purchased, but they were nice. They were just curious. I think that they still hesitated because they checked a lot of the buildings here. Maybe they were trying to choose which ones they liked better. But they seemed nice.
Did they speak like you speak, or did they have?
Or did they
Just-
talk like me? Yeah.
They had. I mean, one of them spoke a little bit like you, sir, like the odd accent. But he also had
from
a
the
sort
east.
of cane like you, sir, and he points at your cane.
Yes. Did you hear any names? Were they calling each other by their names?
No, they did not. They were looking at the building. I heard them say it's nice. I heard them say it should be ready soon. So I think that but honestly, I think they're a bit too optimistic about the construction because it takes longer than it was already supposed to be done. My mom always complains that they were supposed to be done with the constructions and we still have to hear the noise. It's very frustrating.
it's a
I don't
lot.
sleep good.
Mhm.
It's not helpful for school.
No, it's not.
No, it's not. But I didn't hear
Are you
any
having
names, I'm
bad
sorry.
dreams?
Bad dreams? No, it's just the noise.
Oh,
I
okay.
hear.
Were you trying to sleep? Your hair construction?
Yeah. Yes. Well, not as much now. There was just like a few times where I heard like some, stone being broken, like all the things that they usually do during the day. But maybe the neighbors complained and they decided to do it during the night so that the people are not outside when it happens. I'm not exactly sure. But it's a little bit less bad now. But
Mhm.
still, having the constructions next to where you live is not good. There's dust everywhere. My mom cannot stop complaining about how much she has to dust the apartment.
Yeah.
Are you going to live here?
We're thinking
Yeah.
about it.
Perhaps we might run a business out of here. But thank you very much for your time. We must be moving on now.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, don't hesitate. If you have any questions, I'm, well, probably at my mom's. But if I see you, I will just say hi. Okay? Okay.
Bye.
Have a good day. And he
Auf
just like
Wiedersehen.
skips away. Auf Wiedersehen what? And he just like loses attention and just continues on.
Oh boy.
But
Are we?
gonna try the door. Just try and
Okay.
open it.
The door is currently locked. It seems brand new.
How,
by the way.
s- how sturdy does it look, if I may ask?
Actually, kind of sturdy from what you can see. It's solid, like brand new with brand new materials and everything. Not the kind of door you could easily break, especially not in the middle of
During
this
the day.
very populated street. Yes,
Mm.
Janet?
Odile, darling, I don't suppose you have a nail file or a bobby pin on you?
Yeah, sure. Did
I
is it?
I get advantage. I have prestidigitation, so I have advantage on anything that would be. Oh, where'd my character sheet go? Get back here.
Indeed. Which means that you can roll your dexterity save with advantage. Yes, Bridget? What
Oh, didn't you say there was a window that looked like it could be gotten into?
From
It's
the
up
back
on the
alley,
first,
yes.
in the back.
In the back. Okay, that's good. So we'll let Janet do her thing, and then if that doesn't work, I'll see if I can.
Are
get
you
in the
guys
window.
trying to conceal Janet at all?
I would
Yeah.
ask them to.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
me and Percy are looking about like we're trying to figure out where we're going next.
Oh,
Looking at the
no.
different buildings. Like,
Ooh. Oh, one. Well
I didn't look at
done.
the
I mean,
roll.
yeah, I'm sure the first one is.
By the time you all gather around Janet to try to conceal her, you barely have time to just make sure that nobody's watching, that you hear a click behind you, and Janet's like, that's open. And it's very, very odd to see her so comfortable with it, both in terms of doing it, then actually the completion of the act. But nonetheless,
She must do surgery.
The door is open.
And I hand Odile back her nail file. Thank you, dear. Very useful thing to have on hand. Shall we?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Percy's
Ye-
gonna scan the square,
Mm-hmm.
see if anyone's
Clocked us.
clocked us or is paying us any attention.
Well, give me a flashlight roll, and also give me you and Matthias give me a smoke roll, the conversation with Jaune. Because I forgot
All right.
to ask you that.
So flashlight first. Oh,
Okay. You spend an ungodly amount of time making sure that you spot all the faces. But on this specific place, okay, for smoke roll, you're good. You have a few moments where you feel like you're being watched. There's a guy here that seems odd, and he's looking at you weird. But then he just like rushes towards you, and you realize he was just waving at a friend that is just like a few meters ahead of you. So you just don't pay attention. Then you look at another one and another one, and with the sheer amount of people walking onto that square, you just start to lose track, and you just have to like gather yourself again, because there's way too many people here. Nevertheless, you can get inside. You are greeted with this whiff of freshness, of newness. You still feel the fresh paint. Well, fresh-ish. It's not like fresh per se, but it's still the brand new paint
house
of the
smell.
building. New house smell, exactly. The building itself has 2 floors at the moment, and it seems that there is also a set of stairs going to the basement.
Everyone even want to bother upstairs? I think we should just
The basement.
probably. Not many caves up on the
Yeah.
first floor, I imagine.
We're here looking
Right.
for something specific.
Looking for that second floor cave.
We're going
Okay.
down.
We say that, and there's like an entire cult upstairs that we're gonna not notice.
Okay. As you're going down the
That's okay.
stairs, you are greeted by a metal door that is currently locked.
Yeah. Yeah.
What-
Janet,
What's wrong
would
with
you
feeling?
be so kind?
Janet, Bobby Pin getting at the door. Roll
Yeah.
dex save with advantage, please.
Never knew this party trick would come in such handy.
Indeed. Takes you a little bit more time. This is it's a more sturdy door with, what seems to be a heavy sort of key to open it. But eventually, with a little bit of elbow grease, you just manage to get it open, although the bobby pin is destroyed in the process. It was very heavy. You open the door, and you are currently in darkness. You can see, just with the little bit of light coming from inside the apartment complex, rows of individual basements.
Good thing I got a flashlight.
Is there any light switch or anything around? Like,
There is. You just click it and there's like this light bulb that turns on. And then everybody dies. No, I'm kidding. But
A fuse
I
light.
was like, ooh.
you can see all
Just-
of the doors are currently closed and all of them have a number on it that you gather are the numbers of the apartments.
Mm.
In the basement.
Like a storage that goes to each apartment.
Basically,
okay.
each apartment has a storage dedicated to their apartment.
I've stayed in buildings like that. Uh-huh. Oh, we hear any activity, any noise from down here?
Not at the moment, no.
Could we have gotten lucky and they're all away at breakfast or lunch? Trying to remember what time of day it is.
It's still in the morning right now. You're like around 10ish.
It's the weekend. It might be brunch. Ah,
I know, but that kid seemed to think that there was nobody in here yet. So,
they might be only active at night, maybe.
mentioned comings and goings.
So how do we want to do this? All together, or should we scatter apart and start checking out these spaces?
There's not a lot of those spaces, by the way. There's like 6 of them.
I would probably prefer to not get caught down here by someone arriving. Perhaps
You want
if
one of us to stay upstairs?
I'd be happy to stay upstairs. Percy's not only very nearly halfway down the stairs. If you recall, he didn't go into the last basement.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I would never actually point that out. Matthias would never say that out loud. Yes, yes. Maybe guarding our way out of here. You don't want to get locked in here by somebody with bad intentions. Could you do that for us, Percy?
I will happily stand guard. I will be out the front door. And he's gonna maybe just like give three good whacks on the door with his cane. If you hear that, make yourselves elsewhere. Perhaps.
How many knocks did come up guns blazing?
You will hear the gunshots. If you hear me shoot, But yes, if I think there are people going to be entering, I will give 3 knocks on the door, and I suggest you probably head to the first floor and out that back window.
Good call.
And reconvene at the car.
all right. Knock 3 times. Gotcha.
So Percy, you get out of the basement and stand in front of the building. Try to look as inconspicuous as possible, possibly rolling a cigarette and looking around and just keeping track. You guys in the basement realize that most of those doors are, closed but openable. They're not locked. Except apartment number 5. This one is locked at the moment.
just peeking in the other ones real quick. Is there anything in them? Or are they just rooms?
No, they are empty. A little bit dusty because of the construction, but except from that, there's those like 2 meters by 2 meters sort of boxes.
Yeah. That's all. I was just looking to see if there's, okay, there's nothing. Just I'm not going to look very thoroughly. Just poke my head in real quick, and I'm guessing number 5 is going to be the one we need to worry about. How heavy is this door?
Oh, quite heavy. It's these sort of like metal doors that are a bit sturdy, in the same kinds of the one that locked you out of the basement, basically. It's the same kind of door. Although they do not go fully to the ground. There's like a little bit of an opening underneath. You could try to look underneath if you need to. There's enough to... They're basically like that high of an opening. It's not made to be like completely sealed and confidential. It's just, storage.
To keep people out rather than to, airlock it or anything. Yeah. Pardon me all, and I kind of very awkwardly get down to the floor, and if I need to, if I'm trying to, I'll try and use my magnifying glass a little bit to try and bring anything that I can't see clearly into focus. But I'll try to look under the door to see what I see. So you just see me crawling around my head to the floor.
Okay.
Sometimes sticking my magnifying glass against the door to try and focus.
Okay. It is very, very dark, but with the help of Bridget, you manage to get a little bit of light through. And what you can see are boxes. And you, Matthias, would recognize Westphalite. These are explosives.
Ooh, I think
as you notice this, Percy, you hear getting closer and closer the sound of police sirens.
Whack,
and
whack,
this
whack,
is where
whack.
we're going to stop for today.
Good.
Now, before we part, 2 things. First of all, do not miss the Horde game that is going to happen in just a few hours, which is going to be, I believe, Cherry Tree. So please pop by, it's going to be awesome. We are going to meet back in Strasbourg in 2 weeks, which is going to bring us on to the 27th New Zealand time. And the second thing, before we part, we lost Will for a sec. And before we leave, here's what you did not see. Once you were examining the book that was being transcribed, here's the content of that book. You, the players, are going to be able to read it, and there is a media file at the end of it. But for you viewers, before we go, I will leave you with that video. Now, everybody has a great time zone. See you very, very soon. And yeah, bye-bye.
1128. Extraordinary miracles happened everywhere around the world. In Italy, the rain water transformed into blood. Ducklings were born with 4 legs in many places. Balls of fire have been spotted in the sky. Small stars have been seen detaching from them and falling to the ground. By pouring water on them, their inner thunder could be heard. Birds have started to fight amongst each other to the point of death. And finally, the earth trembled for 40 days in many regions, and many cities, villages, and palaces have fallen. 1134. In August, night came in the middle of the day, to the point where stars were visible as if it was the middle of the night. A light source was required to work even outside. 1157. To everyone's stupefaction, 3 suns and 3 moons have been seen at the same time in the sky on September 17th of this year. Until then, nobody ever saw such a phenomenon. 1253. In the village of Altkirch, a peasant found a thick skull, the size of which had never been seen before. It seems to have come from a giant. 1300. One day, a great and violent storm was heard in the sky. The horns were blown, and the monks started to pray to God, begging him to come to their aid. Then they heard demons howl in the sky, but eventually left. 1304. Not far from Muchbach, a dragon has been spotted floating on the waters of a river, swollen like never before by a dreadful storm. After the water went down, the terrible, scaly beast was left stranded on the earth. It continued to cause catastrophic damage. No one dared come close to it. It took the cumulative efforts of many men to manage to slay it. 1314. A monstrous comet appeared in the starry sky above the Rhine, and its arrival caused countless deaths in the cities of the Vale. 14,000 deaths have been counted in Basel, and as many in Strasbourg. 9,000 in Speyer, 6,000 in Worms, 16,000 in Mainz. Even beasts were affected. In addition to this catastrophe, prices have risen dramatically, and a famine like no other spread in the region. Famine was such that we even took down the bodies of the condemned that were hung. When a flayer or a skinner wanted to transport a dead animal outside the city, the crowd would ambush him and killed each other to grasp it. Men have been seen pouncing on cadavers to eat their flesh. Some even attacked the children that they strangled and ate like chickens. These abominations are unfathomable. 1340. A comet appeared in the spring. It had the shape of a sword, which is an ill omen. 1349. In Christianity as well as paganism, so many deaths have been witnessed that it is believed that a third of men disappeared on that year. 16,000 people died in the city of Strasbourg alone. It is rumored that the earth opened in multiple places and that toxic, even deadly fumes escaped from those fissures, infecting the air. They caused a terrible plague epidemic. It is the first time so many men died since the flood. 1414. Johann Hus, a man from Bohemia, never accepted to deny his malevolent cult, even though doctors proved he was going astray. The clergy did not have any other choice but to destitute him from the grace of the church. The secular judges then condemned this heretic, refusing to repent, to die by fire at the stake. 1472. A pale comet remained visible in the sky for 20 nights in a row. Its tail changed orientation every day. On the morning it was pointed towards the east, whereas at dusk it was pointing towards the west. 1473. The summer was very hot and dry after the comet's passing. This year the trees bloomed in spring and autumn. Apples and pears on the trees did not grow past the size of a walnut. 1477. A terrifying event happened in Gutweiler. Bartholomew von Andlau, the Prince of Muchbach, went to his room in the Buchstein Castle. He talked with his servant about current affairs when darkness appeared. The servant went to fetch light in another room, and upon coming back, he saw a black cat hanging at the prince's throat. He discovered with horror that the prince had died, strangled. Tradition was respected. The body has been put in a coffin. At dawn, 4 horses brought him to Muchbach to be buried there. Although strong, the horses struggled to carry the body and were drenched with sweat. When arriving at the church, the coffin was opened as per tradition, but it was empty. 1492. An enormous stone fell from the sky in broad daylight near Einsheim on Wednesday, January 7th. It weighed 240 kilograms. It has been carried through the city and hung in the parish's church. Everybody was surprised to notice 3 suns in the sky in the same year. 1527. A flaming comet coursed through Europe. It had an odd shape that had never been observed before. Rumor spread, telling that it was an omen of desperation to come, which time unfortunately confirmed to be true. 1535. Something horrible happened in a village whose inhabitants were, unfortunately, heretic Lutherans. They committed blasphemies with crucifixes and the saints' statues. Around the village, a thick ice melted and raised the water. On May 25th, the villagers placed the crucifix in the middle of the water and said the following blasphemy: "If you really are the Son of God, get this water out of our land." The very same day the earth opened and swallowed within an hour the entire village along with its 400 inhabitants, sending them straight to hell. 1547. On a beautiful clear day, a blood-red sun has been seen in the sky on both sides of the Rhine. 1557. A strange mildew spread on May 12th in the Sundgau and the Bart. Some called it flower dew. Others chose celestial sweat, as it was thick and sweet like honey. After its arrival, cattle started to wither away. 1558. A colorless comet staying behind the sun appeared in August. It was visible for 7 days and from multiple places. It then disappeared with the arrival of the first rains. Some saw it as a sign of the death of the biggest emperor, which happened shortly after. 1638. 8 children coming from a good family disappeared on the same day. Starving soldiers surely caught them, killed them, and cooked and devoured them. For a while now, people were going so far as to dig cadavers out to eat them after emptying the guts out of them and cleaning them. Soldiers that were locked in the military prison even dug holes in the walls to recover the lime and eat it, as toxic as it was. When a soldier died from hunger, his companions would hide to devour him. Soldiers have lured the son of a baker with pieces of bread to capture him and eat him. Every morning, new bodies were found in the streets. The lucky ones were buried. A dog's flank was being sold 7 florins. A cat was worth 1 florin, and sometimes more. 1719. On February 22nd, around 7 in the evening, a powerful light has been seen in the sky, resembling a fire. It stunned and sometimes horrified inhabitants. On March 29th, around 8 in the evening, another great fire shone in the sky, not only in Guttweiler and the vicinity, but also in Paris and many other places in France. As the sky was the clearest, suddenly a great dark cloud appeared. From it emerged a ball of fire that went away. A great cold followed after.